This year has been a tragic one for rideshare drivers in the United States. As of now, we've lost 13 drivers to violent crimes while on the job. This crisis is escalating, and it's clear that both Uber and Lyft need to take immediate action to ensure the safety of their drivers. In this video, I'll highlight the heartbreaking stories of these individuals and emphasize the urgent need for change. Let's start with the most recent tragedy, which happened just 20 minutes south of my market in Richmond, Virginia. On July 12, 2023, Kirk Nims, an Uber driver, was shot and killed in Petersburg, Virginia. The circumstances surrounding his death are still under investigation, but this loss underscores how dangerous it has become for drivers simply trying to make a living. You can read more about Kirk's story in the linked article. Just over a week before Kirk's murder, on July 3, 2023, Nasrat Ahmadyar, a Lyft driver and former interpreter from Afghanistan, was tragically killed in Washington, D.C. Nasrat had resettled in the United States after years of service to the U.S. military, only to lose his life while working to support his family. His story is heartbreaking, and you can find more details in the link provided. On June 27, Juan Miguel Chan, a rideshare driver whose platform is currently unknown, was murdered in Inglewood, California. Details surrounding his case remain limited, but the violence he faced is another stark reminder of the growing risks drivers encounter. More on Juan's story can be found in the linked article. Just a few weeks earlier, on June 16, 2023, Daniel Piedra, an Uber driver in El Paso, Texas, was fatally shot after a passenger falsely claimed she was being kidnapped. This tragedy was a result of misinformation and panic, costing Daniel his life. For a deeper dive into this case, check out the linked Guardian article. On June 14, 2023, Michael Almonte, another Uber driver, was shot and killed in Philadelphia. He was simply doing his job, driving someone to their destination, when violence struck. His family and community continue to mourn his loss. You can learn more about Michael's story in the link provided. On May 27th, Hector Torres, an Uber driver in Houston, Texas, was killed during a carjacking. His death was yet another senseless act of violence targeting a driver who was just trying to earn a living. The details about Hector's case are in the linked article. In April, on the 24th, Randall William Cook, who worked for Uber Eats, was murdered in Holiday, Florida. Randall's life was taken in a particularly brutal manner, and his story is a chilling reminder of the dangers that delivery drivers also face. Read more about Randall's case in the link provided. In March, we saw multiple tragic incidents. On the 24th, Aaron Orozco, an Uber driver in Linwood, California, was killed during a robbery. Aaron was a Marine veteran and a father, leaving behind a devastated family. His story is linked for more details. On March 16th, Robert Diaz, an Uber driver in San Antonio, Texas, was fatally shot. He was doing what so many drivers do daily, picking up and dropping off passengers. Sadly, his routine shift turned deadly. Read more about Robert's story in the link below. On March 9th, Marvin Enrique Bardals Valle, a Lyft driver in New Orleans, Louisiana, was killed by a passenger while working a second job to support his family. Marvin's story highlights the risks drivers face with passengers they've never met. More on Marvin's case is in the link provided. Earlier in the year, on February 25th, Bryce Jambisi, an Uber driver in Washington, D.C., was caught in the crossfire of a shootout while working. Bryce was also a beloved teacher, and his community mourns the loss of a compassionate educator and hard-working driver. More details are in the link. On February 20th, Milton Pilakela Ayora, a Lyft driver in Chicago, Illinois, was gunned down. Milton's death was yet another reminder of the growing danger for rideshare drivers. You can read about his story in the link provided. And finally, back on January 13th, Christopher Bushhausen, an Uber driver in Indianapolis, Indiana, was shot and killed. The new year had barely begun, and already the lives of drivers were being taken. More about Christopher's story can be found in the link. 13 drivers, 13 lives lost. These tragedies are not just statistics. These were fathers, sons, teachers, veterans, real people who were working to support themselves and their families. The spike in these murders is alarming. This is a crisis, and Uber and Lyft must do better. They need to take real steps to protect drivers, whether through enhanced safety measures, better background checks for passengers, or emergency response systems. To all drivers out there, stay vigilant, trust your instincts, and prioritize your safety. And to the viewers, share these stories. Let's push for accountability and demand change from these companies. The links to all these stories are in the description below. If you know of any other cases or updates, please let me know. Together, we can honor these drivers and fight for a safer future.